Copilot. Because we are talking about the practical use of AI in modern software development, modern AI tools in software development. And at least for me, Copilot is for software development, for day-to-day use, the best tool out there. We actually have a company policy, everyone who wants to use it, and I think it's almost everyone at the company.
Almost, yeah.
We have a GitHub organization, and we have Copilot for Business, and everyone has, if they want to, has Copilot running to aid them in their day-to-day job. And back when Copilot first was released, I was a big skeptic because I was using Vim back then, and let's say I liked to type sometimes, but then I gave it a try in VS Code, and I don't know what the GitHub and Microsoft engineers have done, but it's really, really helpful because for me, and it's not helpful when I ask it, generate me something. Like I don't like using it like ChatGPT, generate me something based on it, but rather just observe the context of the code base that I'm writing and help me autocomplete things in a smart way, following the context. And I think this for me was game changer because it helped me stay in flow state.
Yeah.
When I'm writing something and I have to query Google or prompt ChatGPT, I'm breaking my flow, and I have to, from the mindset of I'm writing code and I'm writing something and validating it along the way, having a quick feedback cycle, I go to let me see if this thing is hallucinating and if this thing is actually going to help me, or browse Stack Overflow and read the small sub comments that says, hey, I tried this 1 year ago, it's not working. So Copilot helps me maintain flow state, and it rewards me if I write in a good way. Meaning, for example, TypeScript, you usually have to start with the types, which types kind of describe your domain. You know, not describe your entity relationships and database relationships, but rather the thing that I want to implement a function that takes X and returns Y, where X and Y is something that I just thought about.
Okay.
And the same thing with Python. We try to use a lot of attributes, like the type classes.
Yeah.
We use various instruments for this, but again, you start by writing your types and you start by writing your functions and classes. The interface, I want to have this particular interface, and then Copilot kind of understands it, infers it, and helps me write the thing. And whenever it sees a pattern, if I say left equals to whatever, then it will go to right equals to, and it will try to infer it. And left and right is like a very simple example, but it works with quite a lot of real world domains. And this is what I like about Copilot. And for me, this is the best tool so far if you want to have help. It's not about only increasing productivity, but rather someone thinking alongside you and helping you autocomplete what you want to write.
True. I would add that Copilot actually helps with the mundane work. For example, if you have to do some DTO or something like that, and you have a lot of work that is pretty much copy-paste. Yeah. I'm talking from C# background now.
DTO is data transfer objects.
Yeah. It's an object that you have to, well, you have the entity from the database and you have to return something without the entity connections to the database. So what you do pretty much is create a class that is most of the time like 90% the same as the original class, and you have to do it every time. And every time you have to do it, it's just stupid. Most of the time you do a copy paste and remove attributes and stuff like that. And Copilot finishes it all.
In an instant.
Yeah.
I mean, for the fact that it rewards you for writing good code, and for me, good code is something that has a pattern that can be easily recognized and replicated. After this is really good, because I right now I kind of have an intuition when the Copilot suggestion is just stop. I'm still this is not the pattern that I want. I'm still thinking, and I know when I have the pattern right, and then it's just complete, and it becomes really, really fast and really useful. So yeah, Copilot. Do you guys use it?
Yeah, we use it. We've actually tried also Codium and Tab9.
All right.
I can talk a little about them because we are still in like a trial period.
Okay.
But from my experience, Copilot is also the best. I agree with you, not only because it's the first on the market, not only that, but it just works great. And also there is a like plugin for VS Code. I'm not sure where else the plugin exists, but you have Git Pilot Chat.
Copilot Chat, yeah, that's so they have
Copilot, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
It's fine. They have because I was just looking at this before we recorded. They have GitHub Copilot, which is the plugin that's autocomplete stuff, and they have GitHub Copilot Chat, which is another thing.
Yeah, and the combination of both of them is actually great, because the things that we talked about earlier with ChatGPT, that you need to explain the code or rewrite the code, as you said, you can do them inside the IDE. Yeah. You don't have to go outside of the IDE to a browser to copy paste code and so on. It's right there. It's really nice. I agree with you that Copilot generates good code if your code is good. Actually, from my little experience with Copilot for like 2 months, something like that, I worked on a project that was very nicely written and one that was not nicely written. Copilot for the first one, the nicely written project, worked really well. For the badly written one, it was just a distraction, so I had to turn it off. Yeah. And it works okay if your code is okay, which is actually nice, because that way you learn how to write good code so you can be helped by these tools, as you said.
Exactly, you're rewarded for good design.
Yeah.
I have a disclaimer to make here. For me, every time, the mode that I'm in while writing code is pretty different than the mode I'm in while reviewing code. So while I'm writing, it's really easy for the Copilot to suggest something that looks good to me right now, but when I'm reviewing the code, oh my God, did I just commit that? It was not a great suggestion, and it looks good to me when I was in a writing mode, but now that I'm in a reviewing mode, it's not even there. And you need to be really careful with this, because that's the exact point I'm always doing a self-pull request review before asking others to review it, just because I'm now in the reviewing mode, so I'm like more skeptical, challenging things more, not in the writing mode. And it's tricky. It is nice to receive some suggestions, but when you are in a writing mode, suggestions may be looking good right now and being like really bad in 2 hours when you are reviewing them.
Yeah.
I've been many times situation, oh, that looks good right now, I'm just tap. Yeah, this function now works great. And like 20 minutes after that, I'm reviewing my own code and this is not even good for pull request.
Again, my biggest, what's the word for it, pet peeve or critique for all those tools is you should not use them to replace your thinking. And Copilot, you have to know what Copilot will suggest to you and then just autocomplete it. I think this is the proper flow state and the proper state of mind. If you are surprised by what Copilot is suggesting to you, then perhaps Copilot will not help you as much if you are in a flow state, knowing the direction that you're going. If you are in a state of exploration and you ask Copilot, hey, how would you write this, or ChatGPT, then it's okay to be surprised, because this gives you a new insight, a new idea, what Doncho mentioned before this. But at least I try to make this distinguish, to make the distinguish between those two things. I know what Copilot is going to suggest me because I've written a very good pattern to replicate. And if Copilot starts suggesting me random stuff, then perhaps I'm still figuring things out. So it should not replace thinking. And for me, this is the biggest downside of a lot of people using it, because it helps you to a certain point, and then whenever it cannot help you further, you're left on your own. And if you're left on your own and you don't have the skills to take care of the code base and to think and reason through what you've produced, you're going to be in a very bad situation.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah. We had it's an anecdote. We had a client that reached out to us that said, hey, I have generated a Django app. It works, but I'm getting some errors. So can you help me out? And through the discussions, I realized like they really needed the app to be rewritten or done in a different way. And this client just didn't have the budget for this, and has gotten to a point where Copilot and ChatGPT was producing code that was throwing runtime exceptions, and then you don't have the skills to deal with this. And this is for me the biggest concern that I have looking at all the young folks, because we kind of have the intuition and the skills and the knowledge because we've been doing this for 13 years and more. But the young folks, if they think they can replace their thinking and just move fast and break things through the code, I think they're in for a very rude awakening at a certain point.
True.
I can agree,
Yeah. AI should be used as a whole to augment your capabilities, not like replace them. Well, I guess we'll talk about this later, but yeah.